You dream of games as big as this one. The RedHawks have had their eyes set on a MAC title since the end of last season, and now they are just inches away from hoisting it in the air. But a Cinderella ran Toledo sits in front of them. A ticket to the big dance on the line. Who will go dancing? Will it be the Toledo for the first time since 2023? Or will the Miami RedHawks end the drought and etch their names into the beautiful March Madness bracket for the first time in 18 years? It would be the second time the RedHawks have gone dancing ever. What a big one we have on our hands here. Welcome to the Red Hawk Radio pregame show. Gavin Stark, joined as always by my favorite co-host, Jake Zirolli. And Jake, what a big one we have on our hands here. We have finally made it to Championship Saturday, and the RedHawks playing here as tip-off 24 minutes away, and it seriously just doesn't get bigger than this one. A game with so much on the line. What are some things that the RedHawks are going to have to do first off to hoist that trophy?
I mean, this is a big game. It's the granddaddy of them all in the MAC. Going to be a great one today between two very, very solid teams. Miami, the best team in the conference the entire season. Toledo playing red-hot basketball, playing with house money, nothing to lose. If we're talking about something that Miami needs to do if they want to end up hoisting that trophy and punching their ticket to the big dance, they've got to limit Toledo's new star, Patricia Anumba. She has been a revelation all season. Anumba, the double transfer, originally at UMBC, that's University of Maryland, Baltimore County in the America East. Then at Towson, the Tigers of the Coastal Athletic Association, now finding her way to her third school in Toledo. And she has been really, really solid this season. 12.3 points per game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists on 42% shooting, 30% from the free throw line, and 30% from three-point, and 75% from the 80% from the free throw line. She's an all-MAC third-teamer. Had a really, really nice season so far, and these last 2 games she's been incredible. 29 against a formidable Ball State team, being guarded by players like Bree Salenbein, who is one of the best players in the conference. She did not shy away from the moment, put up 29, led Toledo to a win. Also led the team in rebounds in that game with 9.
Yeah, she's been phenomenal, and someone that 2 really good teams have not been able to stop. You know, UMass first, the 3 seed they upset in the quarterfinals, and then they play a really, really good they play a really, really good Ball State team who sat 16-2, 17-2 actually in the Mid-American Conference. That's tied with the RedHawks record-wise. I mean, those 2 losses obviously came to the RedHawks, but that Ball State team, full of talent and size all over the place, they could not stop Anumba either. She has been phenomenal, like you said, Jake, throughout this entire tournament so far, and her running mate, Kendall Carruthers, as well. I mean, someone you cannot, just look past. If both of these guards are going to play some of their best basketball today, Toledo's such a hard team to beat no matter what. No matter who sits in front of them, Toledo's a hard out. You can look at the fact that they're a 6 seed, but this is March. This team has gotten hot at the right time, and they are playing their best basketball. And the thing that they're doing best, getting out in transition and forcing turnovers. And what do the RedHawks struggle with a little bit? Turnovers. So if the RedHawks aren't going to be able to hold on to the basketball and take good care of it and have good possessions, Patricia Anumba and Kendall Carruthers running the floor, finding those open shooters like Ella Weaver from 3. I mean, this Toledo team can be dangerous, so you have to play your best basketball. And as expected, this is the championship game. So many, big players shine in big moments. Both teams with huge players on both sides of the court. No idea who's going to go off for the RedHawks with all the depth that they have, but you have to think for Toledo, it's going to be a Anumba and Carruthers show.
And detailed and deep backcourts are what make up both of these teams we talked about with Toledo. Kendall Carruthers and Patricia Anumba make up a dynamic duo 1-2 punch. Carruthers more of a floor general, leading the point and passing it around. Anumba more of a better scorer for this team. As Carruthers with 12.3 points per game to her own name, but Anumba with 12.8, so just barely edging her out there. But also, they've got more guard depth. Ella Weaver averaging almost 9 points a game. She gets great minutes, put in some really, really crucial defensive stops against Ball State. Even Cadence Dijkstra, who's their, I suppose, 4th guard, still played really, really nice against Ball State. Dijkstra only at 5'8", so a bit of an undersized guard, but still played really well, handled the ball very well against a stingy Ball State perimeter defense. But then you look at Miami, they also have a crowded and deep backcourt. Of course, you have Amber Scalia and Tamar Singer, the 2 main guards. And Scalia and Singer are both two guards who can play either role. They're dual threats. They can either be facilitators, more so Singer in that regard, as Singer averaging 7.1 assists per game, one of the best passing guards, not only in the MAC, but in the country. Then you also have Amber Scally, who's a bit more of a volume scorer, but they can also switch roles. They're both dual threats. They can play whatever role that the game needs them to. They're both able to mold themselves to the game plan, not just what Coach Glenn Box wants them to do, but also how the flow of the game is going. They're both able to read things very well. Their court IQs are so high. And just after that, we talked about Toledo's 1-2 punch. That's Miami's 1-2 punch. But you got more depth. Nuria Herho, more of a guard forward at 5'10", got 6 rebounds in the last game. Clara Gonzalez has been going off this tournament. 17 points for her against Ohio on 54.5% shooting, plus adding 4 swipes, 4 steals for the Spaniard. But now let's go down a little lower into the front court. For Miami, the 1-2 punch, Ilse DeFries and Amber Treader. Probably the best big combination in the conference. Maybe close with Ball State between Tessa Towers and the guard forward, Bree Salenbine. But DeFries and Treader have been absolutely tremendous for the RedHawks all season. Against Ohio, combined for 25 points and 15 rebounds, as well as 5 blocks between the two. You got Twin Towers down there. They refuse to move. They've been terrific the entire season in this tournament. Dominant against Kent State, even though Treader got in some foul trouble. DeFries stepped up. This time DeFries played a little bit less. She got in some foul trouble of her own. Treader steps up, grabs a double-double. So how can Toledo mitigate the effects of this stacked RedHawks front court?
I don't even know if they really can, but I thought what Diallo did with Towers yesterday was really impressive. Diallo was able to just be physical and keep up with Towers physicality-wise. You know, in the paint when Tessa Towers didn't have the ball and she was trying to, get into better position, Diallo just kind of stood tall. And all of a sudden, Tessa Towers got into foul trouble, and that's when Toledo really took off and had an opportunity. So I think that was kind of a hidden gem of yesterday's game when you talk about Toledo. Because it's Diallo inside, being physical. Obviously undersized, sitting at 6'1", but she's strong, stands tall, and knows how to position herself well and stay in good position defensively. So if Diallo's going to stay physical inside, let's say she's physical with Treader, oh boy, because look out. You can kick outside to Ilse DeFries, who likes to sit in the corner when Treader bangs inside. Or you can just use the 1-2 punch inside, and they both, go back and forth inside the paint. I think they're really hard to stop together, so it's going to need a really mighty defense by Toledo because Diallo's not going to be able to do it herself. It's a little bit of a different style offense when you compare it to Ball State because Ball State, it's kind of just inside feeds to Tessa Towers and, crash it outside as everyone crashes into Towers. But with, Miami, it's more of a can we find a way to get inside, whether it's Treader going inside or DeFries or both of them. And if they crash inside, you kick it outside to a wide open Scalia, who's been nailing the three, or Nuria Herho, who's just an amazing shooter as well, the best three-point shooter on the team statistically, or Ilse DeFries when she finds herself in the corner. But I think where Miami's really going to score their points is in transition.
Yeah, they always have been solid in transition. They have to iron out their passing. I've said this on a bunch of women's pregame shows this season, but a mistake that Miami makes in transition, they get a little ahead of themselves, get a little out of control. The passes start to get a little loopy, a little off target. You've got to have crisp passes in transition. You don't always need quick, fast break buckets in transition. It's about maintaining possession and then setting up the offense because there is no better team in the Mid-American Conference at running a set offense than the Miami RedHawks. Glenn Box's scheme is really solid. The ball movement is always crisp and smooth, but getting there is the problem. In transition, they've given the ball away a bunch. And going back to our conversation about the front court, Miriam Diallo with a Lions effort yesterday. As you said, 6'1", so a little undersized for a forward/center, coming from Heidelberg, Germany, transferring from George Washington, so a former revolutionary, trades navy and gold for a different navy and gold in Toledo. But Tessa Towers is 6'5", and her big partner down there, Alba Caballero for Ball State, is 6'4". They both had a combined 9 fouls yesterday, so they would rotate a lot. Caballero, still 6'4", has a 3-inch size advantage on Diallo. Towers with a 4-inch size advantage, and Towers also stockier. Caballero a little bit skinnier. So definitely different types of play between Caballero and Towers, but Diallo was able to make up for whichever opponent she was facing down there. She got very physical on rebounds, boxing out really well. She didn't even have that many rebounds. She was just able to divert the attention or just the presence of Caballero or Towers, who are two of the best centers in the conference. So Diala fought real hard down there, but it's going to be another tall task with Treader and DeFries, who aren't as tall, aren't as physical rebounders, but are just so skilled. Their post skills are really, really solid and can both even put up outside shots as well. As Treader's a 35.9% free three-point shooter, DeFries a 38% free throw shooter. We'll go in now to some statistics with 14 minutes to go until tip-off here. For Miami, your points leader is still Amber Treader with 14.2 a game. Toledo, it's Patricia Numbo with 12.8. In the rebounding game, it's again Amber Treader, 8.1 per game. For Toledo, it's Evelise Cole with 5.1 boards grabbed per contest. Cole, the sophomore forward from Easton, Pennsylvania, staying at 6'2", so we may see more of her, as well as Evan Carrier, the 6'4" center from Sycamore, Illinois, who just transferred in from Western Michigan at the start of this year, so she's no stranger to action either. Some more double-figure point scores that I mistakenly skipped over. Amber Scalia averaging 13.7 a game. Ilse DeFries with 12.6 per contest. Tamar Singer, 10.8. And those are all your double-figure scores for the RedHawks. For Toledo, Kendall Carruthers is a 12.3-point score. And Faith Fed Robinson, who is injured and will not be playing today, a sophomore guard from Newark, New Jersey, averaging 11.7. So big loss for Toledo, not having Faith Fed Robinson. That would certainly help in their backcourt have a third option outside of Anumba and Carruthers. In the assist game, Miami led by Tamar Singer, 7.1 assists per game. The next closest is Amber Scally with 2.5. That tells you just how awesome Tamar Singer is in the backcourt, just how good her court vision is, her distribution is. She's the ideal floor general and looks to be continuing that floor general mentality in today's game and then later into the month of March. Also on the assist board, Nuria Herho with 2.2. For Toledo, Kendall Carruthers leads the line, 2.9. Then it's Patricia Numbo with 1.9 and Cadence Dykstra with 1.8. So we see a lot of the same names here for Miami. Really just the starting five, Treader, Scalia, DeFries, Herho, and Singer. So you wonder, is the bench depth going to have to step up here if they want to mitigate the effects of Toledo's depth, which Toledo is also a very deep team. They have usually a 7 to 9 player rotation. Miami's depth is going to be crucial in their success today. Who needs to step up off the bench?
Yeah, for Miami, I mean, it's got to be Clara Gonzalez. She has to have another big game off the bench. She is a force to be reckoned with when it comes to the defensive end, but all of a sudden, her jump shot got a little bit tweaked here by athletic director David Saylor, apparently, and since then, she has been money from the perimeter and a huge part in, big runs for this Miami team. So if she's able to come off the bench and be explosive, oh, man. And then another player that has been a huge, huge key for this team. I mean, Mio Sakano played 23 minutes last game. And obviously, you blow out Ohio, you get a lot of second half minutes, but Mio Sakano is playing good first half minutes as well. Defensively, she has been a huge threat on the defensive end of things. So when let's say you take out a defender like Nuria Herho and Clara Gonzalez comes in or Mio Sakano comes in, they have to defend well. You have to make sure that the defense doesn't really skip a beat, and that's exactly what those two have done. And then I also want to mention Macy Taylor. She has been a little bit quieter on the offensive end recently, but not too long ago she had an explosive 16-point game and led the team in points in that final home game. And I think that if Macy Taylor can come off the bench and knock down a few threes here in that first half or even the second half, those would be massive, and I would not be shocked at all. Those are three really key players, though, that come off the bench for this RedHawk team. I mean, you can name a lot of other people as well, but those three players I think are going to be huge bench depth pieces today.
The depth is crucial in surviving advanced games like this. Your starting five, really solid for Miami. It really is one of the best in the conference, one of the best mid-major teams in the country, period. But your starting five can only play so many minutes. Your bench has to get involved. They have to have some bench production. And that's just crucial for any team, especially mid-majors, which may not have as strong talents.
Yeah, and, speaking on that, players not playing the full game, I do think that one of the front court mates, whether it's Treader or DeFries, is probably going to play close to 40 minutes. Maybe both. Probably not, though. I would say both of them are around that 35 mark, but I could see DeFries or Treader hitting 39-minute mark. Honestly, I really can with how today's game shapes up. I mean, you're going to need those two to play their best, and whichever one's the hot hand staying out of foul trouble is probably playing the full game, and as well as Tamar Singer, too. Tamar Singer, you're going to need her out there for the full go because she facilitates that offense, and when she is not on the floor, the offense is much different.
You know, yesterday, DeFries and Treader combined for 39 minutes, and today they both may be playing 39 minutes each. So it's a little different. Championship game, you got to put it all out there. You can't leave anything now. Should you win this one, you're going to have a break until your name gets called on Selection Monday, and then you get a break until the end of next week where you get started with the first round of the tournament. So you're not really concerned with minutes volume there. But the bench production was crucial for Miami against Ohio. Claudia Gonzalez with 17 points off the bench. Van Timmeren, Sakano, Hurst, and Taylor also scoring off the bench. We are going to pause quickly for the national anthem. We'll be back in just a minute or two here on the pregame show on Red Hawk Radio. Stick around for some more analysis before tip-off.
Six minutes away from tip-off here, and we're closing things out on the Red Hawk Radio pregame show. But before we do that, let's talk about what's going on around the women's college basketball world today. It's a big day. It's Saturday, so a lot of finals and semifinals games as teams are trying to punch their tickets and get their ways into the brackets. So, Jake, what do we got?
Going to be a lot of Cinderella slippers put on today, Gavin. A lot of tickets being punched. Starting at 1 o'clock, the SWAC final between the Southern Jaguars and the Alabama State Hornets. So there will be a ticket punched in College Park, Georgia at the Gateway Center at 1 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, the Coastal semifinal between Stony Brook and Charleston. 2:30, the Missouri Valley semifinal, Northern Iowa and Murray State. Murray State at 29-3. I had the hiccups, but another one of the best mid-majors in the country. In the WAC, a ticket is punched today Abilene Christian and California Baptist. At Orleans Arena in Las Vegas, the WAC champion will be determined. At 4 o'clock, the MEAC champion will be determined between the Norfolk State Spartans and the Howard Bison. So in the historic HBCU conference, which one will come out, Norfolk State or Howard? See that at 4 o'clock. At 4:30, the other coastal semifinal between Hofstra and Drexel. 5 o'clock, the other Missouri Valley semifinal between Evansville, who has made an incredible run at just 9-24 this season, finds himself in the semifinal against the 20-12 Illinois State Redbirds. So we'll see if that Cinderella story can continue. The Ivy League final, the 23rd ranked Princeton Tigers, actually the only ranked team in action today, take on the Harvard Crimson, who come in at 18-10. In Ithaca, New York, can Harvard pull up the upset, or will the 25-3 Tigers punch their ticket to the big dance? They should already be in, even if they do lose, as they are ranked 23rd. But with the way Miami men have been treated, I'm not so sure that ranking really matters. At 5:30, the Conference USA Championship. Missouri State, who has been a part of the women's basketball tournament the last few years, takes on Louisiana Tech for their spot in the dance. At 6 o'clock, another final in the Big West, Hawaii and UC San Diego. The Tritons making the men's tournament last year, losing to Michigan in the first round, but the women trying to make it ahead of the Rainbow Warriors. And then at 9:30, your last final in the American, UTSA and Rice, a Texas Derby in Birmingham, Alabama. The Roadrunners coming in at only 17-15, looking to pull off an upset against the 28-4 Rice Owls. So now with 3.5 to go until tip-off, those are all your games going on around the country. Gavin, who is your player to watch for both teams?
Yeah, first I'll go Toledo. I'm going to say Patricia Anumba. She's been a star throughout the entire tournament, and if Toledo's going to win this game, it's going to be ran through her. And if Toledo does win this game, I think Patricia Anumba will be the MVP of this tournament as well. Already etched her name into that first team all honors for this tournament as well. I mean, we get a vote on that, and I'll tell you right now, I'm voting for Patricia Anumba to be on that first team. And on the other end of things, for Miami, it's going to be her third year with the RedHawks this season and going to look to see her first time win a MAC championship. Amber Schroeder has been a huge part of the development of this team. She stuck around, and she is the captain of this team. It's going to be ran through her today inside the post, and I think she'll also knock down some threes. I'm looking for an Amber Schroeder classic double-double from her as she dominates inside the paint and on the offensive end as well. And I don't want to not mention Elsa DeFries because I think she's going to have a great game as well.
Two players to watch there, I suppose three. Should all have good games. This is going to be a real good one here, folks. Gavin did our key players. I'll do our keys to the game. For Miami, the shot selection has to improve. It got a little better against Ohio, but that game was a runaway. So I'm going to chalk that one up to Ohio just having a bad day. And Miami did shoot very well from three. They shot 50% from beyond the arc, but still, the shot selection has got to improve, especially against a stingy Toledo perimeter defense. They've got to not foul. Toledo is a very solid free throw shooting team, 72.8% on the season, especially the two main guards, Carruthers and Anumba, are 75 and 80% free throw shooters respectively, so you do not want to see them going to the line. And the key thing, you said Patricia Anumba is your player to watch for Toledo. Miami has got to make somebody other than Patricia Anumba beat you. If you walk in here and Kendall Carruthers puts up 32 points and you lose this one, you can say, you know what, that's fine. Their star player didn't really take over. Their number two option had herself a great game. You can walk out and think, getting ready for the NIT. But you've got to make somebody other than Anumba beat you. After she just slayed the dragon that was Ball State, led Toledo to the upset against UMass in the first round, you cannot let her be the determining factor again. For Toledo, they've got to limit the shooters. Miami is one of the best shooting teams in the country. You cannot let this game become a track race because Miami will run them out of the gym. Toledo's got to make their threes in their own right. Their three-point shooting not been great, only 28.8%, which is 11th to 13 in the MAC. And they got to win the post battle. Two great bigs for Miami into DeFries and Schroeder. Miriam Diallo and Evan Carrier got to step up down there. Should be a great one today. Getting ready to go. The RedHawks and the Rockets for a spot in the dance. Jake Zirolli and Gavin Stark with you here for the pregame show. We'll be back with you for halftime. For now, we will kick it to Andrew Relvas and Luke West Poley, who will take you through the first half. We'll see you at halftime, but enjoy. It's the MAC title game. It's March. Strap in. And
Good morning and welcome inside Rocket Arena here in downtown Cleveland for Championship Sunday here in the 2026 MAC Women's Basketball Tournament Championship game between the number 6 seeded Toledo Rockets and the number 1 seed Miami RedHawks. My name is Andrew Relvas, joined alongside Luke Poley. And Luke, two very different paths in the championship game. One for Toledo where they upset UMass and they also upset the number 2 seed Ball State. Meanwhile, for Miami, they've taken care of business and are looking to continue it that way in this game today.
Yeah, and for Miami, a little bit of a tighter game than probably the RedHawks were hoping for in that first round, but really bounced back in a big way yesterday. One of the most dominant performances we've seen really all year from Miami. Kind of felt like what Glenn Box called the turning point of their season. That Green Bay game at home at the end of the non-conference slate was a very similar feel to what Miami had yesterday. Just shot the absolute lights out. They defended the heck out of the basketball, and it resulted in a pretty comfortable victory. But this Toledo team, they fell to Miami earlier this year, but they have looked really, really good. And, you know, this has not been a fluke run. I would say Toledo has certainly looked like the second best team in this tournament so far, en route to their 2 upsets. Pretty convincing ones against the other 2 of the top 3 seeds in the Mid-American Conference over the last 3 days.
And for Toledo, they beat Ball State yesterday 69-65. That was a game where Ball State started out strong, but Toledo kept weathering the storm, and it was led by the services of Kendall Carruthers, who scored 12 points, and really the star of the show on that one, Patricia Anumba, who scored 29 points and 9 rebounds. Just a really impressive performance against Ball State. And for the RedHawks, last game, winning 80-52, they made the second most 3-pointers in program history, and even better in a tournament game. I mean, the RedHawks were firing on all cylinders, and they will look to continue it here in this championship game. Starting lineups have been announced for both sides. First for Toledo, it is the same as yesterday's. It is Ella Weaver, Miriam Diala, Cadence Dykstra, and the 2 guards, Kendall Carruthers and Patricia Anumba. And meanwhile for Miami, if it ain't broke, don't fix it for Glenn Box. He's rolling with the same starting 5 as last year. Amber Scalia, Tamar Singer, Amber Treader, Mira Herho, and Ilsa DeFries, the starting 5 against the Rockets in this one, in the 2026 MAC Women's Basketball Championship game. For the RedHawks as well, they're searching to make March Madness for the first time in 18 years. They've only made it once in program history, and that was with Maria Fantarosa, as the RedHawks were a 13th seed and looking to make it back for the second time ever. And for Toledo, this is a good program, especially making March Madness. They've made it overall 9 times, 7 times in the 90s and the 2000s, and they're searching to make it back to March Madness for the first time in 3 years. So a little bit recent for Toledo, but still trying to make it back.
This Toledo team's been very good, consistently near the top of this conference. It started when Trisha Cullip was the head coach there. She's since departed for the other Miami down in Florida, where she's in her 2nd year, and now Jenny Bogus has them back in the MAC championship game. You mentioned them going to the NCAA tournament in 2023 and actually won a game in the NCAA tournament as well that year. So this team no slouch. They've been one of the premier mid-majors in the women's game, and again, that 6 seed I think won't fool anybody who's watched Toledo over the first couple games of this tournament. They have looked rock solid en route to a couple of impressive upsets here in Cleveland.
The RedHawks are wearing the white jerseys, and the Toledo the navy blue. The tip is up, won by Miami, and the RedHawks will start first, moving from right to left. This is the 2026 MAC Women's Basketball Championship here on RedHawk Radio. Starting off on the far side, this is Miami. Tamar Singer kicking out on the right side. Amber Treader thought about a 3-pointer. She'll hand close. Back to Singer on the far side, and he gives close to Ilsa DeFries. Back to Singer down the lane. Righty layup falls in off the glass and in. The RedHawks strike first. It's 2-0 Miami. And Miami steals it away. Tamar Singer gets it right back. Straightaway 3-pointer. Scalia no good. And the rebound is cleared by Dykstra. Almost a scoop and score on the opening possession for the RedHawks. Up and under, righty layup is short from Anumba, and the RedHawks retake the basketball. It's Tamar Singer working on the right wing, bouncing low. Here's Amber Treader, and Treader lost the basketball. That's a tough turnover for the RedHawks. And it'll go back to go back to Toledo.
And remember, in that first half, a near perfect first half for Miami yesterday. Really, the only thing was the turnovers. Probably the only reason they weren't up by something like 40 points at the break.
Anumba, jumper just outside of the free throw line, short. The rebound is picked up by Scalia. She had 7 of those in the last game, and it's back to Miami. Here's Tamar Singer on the right wing, kicking out over to Herho, top of the key Treader. Back on the left side, Scalia. Scalia, star in last game. RedHawks have some nice ball movement so far. Tamar Singer trying to cook something up on offense. Shot clock at 10. Let's see what the RedHawks can do. Here's Amber Scalia in the lane. Fadeaway jumper falls in, and Miami leads 4-0 here in the first. 8:20 left to go in the opening quarter, and Toledo trying to crack the net for the first time today. Here's Miriam Diallo, the George Washington transfer, searching for open rockets. No one's open yet, and she'll have to go all the way back out to Anumba. Shot clock at 10. The Rockets are trying to establish something. Diallo, righty layup, scoop shot, in and out, halfway home, the rim spit it out, but here comes Ella Weaver, who can't get the layup to go. Great defense on the interior by the RedHawks. They force another stop. The defense has been good. The offense trying to continue to stay red hot. Scored 80 in the last game. Tamar Singer over to Ilsa DeFries, and they go in the paint. Amber Treader. Treader defended by Diallo. Treader around the world, righty layup over the top and in. It's a great start for the RedHawks. They're off to a 6-0 run here in the opening quarter. And it feels like every quarter they have really taken care of the basketball. Nuria Herho nearly got a steal from Carruthers. Hands close over to Anumba. Falling down, righty layup goes short again. The RedHawks force another stop. Here's Singer racing the other way. Righty layup blocked out of bounds by Miriam Diallo. And that will stay with Miami. Or rather, that was Cadence Dykstra. Three minutes in so far, Luke. What have you liked from the RedHawks?
I just like the defense. I mean, nothing easy. Toledo 0 for 5 to start from the field, and it's because every shot has been contested, and that's been the name of the game for Miami all year.
Jumper just outside of the free throw line. It splashes home for Amber Scalia. 8 straight points by the RedHawks. They're rolling here in the first. Down the other way, Dykstra, and she traveled. So just like that Ohio game, the RedHawks have executed on everything in the opening few minutes. It's looked really good for Miami, ahead 8-0. And they're looking to continue to put pressure on these Rockets from Toledo. Tamar Singer, top of the key, feeds inside to a knifing Scalia. Cycles around and they reset up top. Here's Clara Gonzalez-Planella, who misses the layup running, but the rebound goes back to Treader. Left wing 3, DeFries misses off the right rim, and Dykstra cleans it up with the rebound. Here's Kendall Carruthers, straightaway three-pointer. Transition one, she missed everything. It's an air ball, and Singer grabs the miss. Here's Singer over to Scalia. Racing in the paint, lefty layup. Gets the friendly roll. The RedHawks are rolling off to a 10-0 start here in Cleveland.
Good for Scalia already with 6. We've seen this year the results of her first 3-4 shots of the game have often determined how the rest of the day will go for her. So to see a couple shots go in early could be in for a big offensive day.
This is Anumba, and she missed the shot just outside of the free throw line. Overall, Toledo is 0 of 7 to start. And Anumba, the top player yesterday, is 0 of 5. Miami has the basketball on the left timeline and looking to increase their lead. Ahead by 10, 5:30 left to go in the first quarter. Scalia feeds in the post. This is DeFries. DeFries over the top, righty layup, wins the battle, and the RedHawks lead 12-0. It's a 12-0 start, and timeout is taken by Toledo. What a start by the RedHawks. They are rolling here in the first quarter and really looking to continue it that way here in the championship game. Stay with us here on Red Hawk Radio. It's the MAC Women's Championship game between the Rockets and the RedHawks here in Rocket Arena. .5:17 left to go here in the first, and Miami's ahead 12-0. And Luke, you couldn't have asked for a better start for this RedHawks group.
Yep, doing it with the defense like normal. RedHawks have gotten 9 stops to start this game, and between a couple turnovers and forcing some missed shots, that has been the bread and butter for this RedHawks team under Glenn Box, and they are continuing to showcase just how difficult they are to play against to start this game.
And in that Ohio game, only allowing 52 points. I mean, that's incredible. Toledo behind by 12 and looking to get into this game. Searching for their first field goal as well. Kendall Carruthers, defended by Gonzalez, goes on the right side and rolling around. She'll drive in the paint. Will try and feed it over the middle, but this pass is intercepted by Sakano. Third turnover of the morning for the Rockets. And Sakano will work it slow and in a set. Sakano on the right side, floating over the top. This is DeFries. DeFries will go on the short side to Sakano, and the RedHawks will reset just outside. Shot clock at 10. Here's Sakano. Is tarped by Anumba. Loses the basketball. Ball's loose on the far sideline, but it's picked up by Toledo. 4:30 left to go here in the first. Miami ahead by 12. Up top, this is Evan Carrier feeding in the paint. This is Kendall Carruthers, lefty layup short. Rather, that was Anumba, and we got a foul on the floor as DeFries was fighting for possession. This will be against Anumba, and that brings it back to the RedHawks. I mean, in a championship game like this, you need to score points quickly, and we're 6 minutes in. Toledo hasn't scored yet. That's not a recipe for success. It'll be RedHawks basketball. Have only attempted 1 3-pointer, but everything is working inside the paint. Singer over to Herho, and Herho will trot across the timeline. Herho bounces at the top to Freese, over to Taylor. Stops at the free throw line, lost the basketball, and they're going to call foul on the Rockets. This will be on Carruthers. Or rather, this will go against the RedHawks. This will be against Macy Taylor, so they're bringing it back the other way. Toledo possession. Patricia Numba. RedHawks employing tight pressure here in the opening quarter. Numba, the Towson transfer, is tarped by Gonzalez trying to escape. Cameron Vanden Bosch, tough layup, no, but in comes Carrier for the rebound. She misses it, and the shot clock winds down. Another shot clock turnover and another amazing defensive stand by this Miami group. 3 minutes and 31 seconds left in the quarter, and the RedHawks are ahead 12-0 still. This has been a RedHawk domination in the first 7 minutes. Here's Nuria Herho. Go top of the key over to Treader. Treader against Carrier in the paint. Righty layup falls in, and Miami leads 14-0 here in the first. 4 points for Treader. RedHawks have been working it in the paint a lot. That's been the name of the game in this one. Kendall Carruthers, an all-MAC guard, will give close over to Weaver. Here's Patricia Numba, who's 0 of 6 to start and really trying to get this offense going. Loses the ball. Singer swipes it away, and she's off to the races. One on nobody. Righty layup falls in. The scoop and score for Singer, and the RedHawks are up 16-0 here in the first. And another steal by Gonzalez, but it's swatted out of bounds by Carruthers. That's already turnover number 6 for Toledo. And just nothing is going Toledo's way here in the first quarter.
They've fallen asleep a couple times inbounding the ball after made baskets, and that was another situation. Just can't turn it over right there in your backcourt. And I think just a lapse of focus right now for this Rockets team in Miami is really punishing them for it.
Singer over to Treader, far corner three, rims out, and the rebound back to Anumba. Got to be better with the basketball. Far corner three, and it falls in for Vanden Bosch. The first points for Toledo in about 8 minutes, and it's 16-3 here in the first. Finally found an answer, and Singer turns it over with a double dribble.
Well, now you got to be careful if you're Miami, because you just held Toledo off the board for 7 minutes and 39 seconds to start this game. But now you're only up 13. I mean, this is not even close to blowout territory just yet.
2 minutes left to go in the quarter, and the Rockets are looking to end this on a high note. This is Cadence Dykstra down the lane, defended by Scalia, almost turning it over out of bounds as Weaver lost the basketball, stripped by Gonzalez, and that's another steal for the RedHawks. But Gonzalez passed the Singer, and she wasn't looking. Out of bounds off of Miami. And Luke, I mean, feels very similar to yesterday. The RedHawks, although winning by a lot, they turn it over almost 20 times.
And Glenn Box now looks like it's his turn to show some frustration on the Miami bench with his team after Jenny Bogus was doing a lot of that to start the game.
In the paint, Weaver will cycle back out to Dykstra. Dykstra on the right wing, gives close over to Diala. Diala close to Dykstra. Shot clock at 5. Dykstra puts on the brakes, searching for space. Righty layup over the top, at the very top of the backboard. And foul will go against Cameron Vanden Bosch on the loose ball. So it will return back to the graceful arms of the RedHawks. For Miami, it is Treader, DeFries, Singer, Herho, and Scalia, the starters. Minute 15 left to go in this quarter. Miami leading by 13, 16-3. And Singer throws it away, stolen away by Carruthers. That's Miami's 6th turnover. Straightaway three-pointer from Weaver, and it bottoms in. A deep one from Toledo, and it's 16-6. Under a minute to play. Miami trying to take careful possession of the basketball. Amber Treader gives over Scalia, draws a double team, will kick up. Amber Treader, straightaway three-pointer. Rims off, hit the back rim, and it will be another rebound for Kendall Carruthers. Ruthers turns it over as she passed to Weaver, who lost her balance. 10-point lead for Miami. They have it with likely the final full possession. Shot clock and game clock separated by about 3 seconds or so. This is Tamar Singer. She's got Patricia Anumba on her. Shot clock at 6. Singer goes left, inside the paint, kicks out over to Herho. Herho, far block jumper, and this one falls off, but this will be a foul on Toledo. That will wipe off the shot clock, and it'll stay with the RedHawks. 3.7 left. And this will be a shooting foul, so free throws coming up for Herho, the Barcelona native.
Yeah, that's just what the good three-point shooting does, because the kick goes out to Herho in the corner, and Carruthers is forced to run out to the three-point line to make sure she doesn't get a shot off, and then Herho blew past her and fouled her.
And Herho misses the first free throw on the left hand.
I should say Herho got fouled there at the end on that little runner.
For her last game, 6 rebounds and 4 assists. Second one on the way, in and out. The rim spatted out, and Diala, along with Treader, kind of collided with each other for possession of the basketball, and that'll return back to the Rockets with the jump ball. 2.7 left. Miami ahead 16-6, and we'll see what the Rockets want to do here. Weaver on the inbound, searching for open bodies, goes close to Carruthers. 2 RedHawks are around her. Won't be a shot off, and that's going to end it. An awesome first 10 minutes for Miami as they end the first quarter leading 16-6, and that started off of a really strong defensive opening start where they kept Toledo scoreless for the first 7 minutes and change. Well, we'll be right back here in Rocket Arena with Miami off to a good start in the championship game. Stay with us. You're listening to the 2026 MAC Women's Basketball Championship game on Red Hawk Radio. Second quarter action just about to tip off here inside Rocket Arena between the RedHawks and the Rockets in this championship game. Overall, Miami ahead 16-6, and they really stifled Toledo offensively. Toledo only shot 2 of 13 from the floor in the first 10 minutes. Miami will have it, and will work it from right to left on the left timeline. Amber Treader gives close to Amber Scally, and she cycles on the right side. Her old top of the key will float over close side to Amber Treader. Treader fadeaway jumper inside the free throw line, falls off. Nice defense by Diala, and the Rockets get an opening stop. Carruthers over to Anumba with her hole right in her grill. Hands on the left side over to Carruthers. The Rockets trying to get this offense back on track. Free throw jumper from Diala. Missed everything on the left side, and Scalia swipes the rebound. Scalia bouncing over. This is Singer. Singer racing down the lane. Righty layup. The runner a little short, and it goes back to Toledo. Here comes Diala down the lane. Puts on the brakes with DeFries right on top of her. A bouncer, and it's stolen away by Scalia. The RedHawks potentially have numbers. And here comes Scalia down the lane. Righty floater falls in. A scoop and score for Amber Scalia. And the RedHawks start off the second first.
And talked about Scalia's game and her start. That's a tough bucket on the run like that. Ripped it over the defender, made it on the run.
Straightaway three-pointer from Weaver, in and out, no good. And it's back to Miami. Another rebound for Scalia. She's been all over the boards today. Here's Tamar Singer at the low baseline, and this is going to be an offensive foul on the RedHawks on the illegal screen on Amber Treader. So that will give possession back to the Rockets. Now we see Gonzalez coming in. She was a big reason why the RedHawks dominated the Bobcats in the last game, scoring 17 points off the bench. Full court pressure employed by Miami as now.
Shot clock.
Yeah, shot clock issue. Never fully went going. Toledo already 9 turnovers. And you can say the same for Miami, just kind of sloppy play in the first about 12 minutes or so of game time here in Cleveland. Miami ahead 18-6. The leading scorer so far is Amber Scalia, 8 points and 3 rebounds, along with 2 steals. And she's a player who wasn't an all-MAC guard, so she may be playing with some type of frustration. She has really played with a lot of passion, and she's played really well in the MAC tournament. 22 points in her last game. Down the lane, Anumba, and they're going to call a foul. Anumba almost stepped out of bounds, but this will be a foul against the RedHawks. Stops the clock at 8:16.
Yeah, they say DeFries bumped her, and that's what got her a little off rhythm, because like you said, she may have stepped out. I think she also traveled there, but the officials said that I think those steps were caused because she took a bump from DeFries going up the baseline.
Carruthers on the right wing, trying to escape from Gonzalez. Free throw jumper. This is going to be a push-off and an offensive foul. Great job from Gonzalez to draw it. And that is Carruthers' second, so something to keep an eye on early. And if the Rockets are going to win this game, they need both Anumba and Carruthers to be on track. Tamar Singer made everyone miss for the Rockets, and she drives inside and finishes with the layup. No one was within an area code of her, and it's 20-6 RedHawks in the second. Tamar Singer so shifty and making Toledo pay. Here's the Rockets now. Patricia Anumba down the lane, lost the basketball, and that's out of bounds off of Toledo. Turnover number 10 on Toledo. It's back to Miami, starting off the second quarter on a 4-0 spurt and trying to continue to force pressure. Marsinger dribbling on the right side, will feed up top. Amber Treader going in the paint. Here's Ilsa DeFries, and her feet got tangled up with each other. She traveled, and it goes back to the Rockets. So in this quarter, a little bit of a sloppier start for both sides. Here come the RedHawks employing pressure as Weaver just got across the timeline. Here's a far corner three from Van den Bosch. Loose ball on the floor, and this will stay with the Rockets. Last touch by DeFries nearby. Toledo 2 of 16 to start offensively. The 2 field goals, though, were 3-pointers. On the baseline, Anumba feeds top over to Diala and back to Anumba, the Towson Tigers transfer of 2 years. This is Lizzie Puat, and she traveled. So another turnover on Toledo.
Yeah, it's good work by Miami's defense. RedHawks were really discombobulated there. They did not like the look. Glenn Box was trying to get a timeout off before Toledo inbounded the ball, but he couldn't get it. And so then from there, it was just kind of a mad scramble to get set defensively for Miami, and just indicative of how this game has gone. They still get a stop.
There's Tamar Singer controlling, ahead by 14. Gives over on the left wing. Left wing three, DeFries. It's good. That's Miami's first three-pointer of the game, and the RedHawks lead 23-6 here in the second. Was only a matter of time before Miami was able to make a three-pointer. Now here is Ella Weaver, who got bumped, was trying to pass in the corner. No one was there, and that will take it to a timeout. We will step away here inside Cleveland as Toledo takes a timeout. They want to draw some things up and talk things over, with Miami leading by 17 here in the second. We'll take a break and be right back here in the MAC Tournament Championship game. 6:34 left to go here in the second, with Miami rolling so far against Toledo in the MAC Tournament Championship game. Miami's ahead 23-6 and looking to push the pedal to the metal. RedHawks will have it, and they will go from right to left here in Rocket Arena. Tamar Singer going on the short side over to Herhold. Top of the key, this is Amber Scalia. Scalia lost her balance, and they're going to call a foul on Carruthers, and that's going to be her third. So for Toledo, they were already shorthanded, and one of your top guards in Kendall Carruthers is in foul trouble, and we're not even really close to halftime. On the inbound, it was Treader, and she goes close to Herhold. Treader going on the left side, gives close to Singer. Right wing three for DeFries. It's good. Back-to-back threes for Ilsa DeFries, and Miami's ahead by 20. And now it looks like we're going back the other way. This will be a foul against Toledo, or rather some sort of substitution. It'll stay with Toledo. This is Anumba searching for open rockets. Nearly another turnover as Herho was close, but they don't get the steal. Toledo, they're really searching for an answer. They've been scoreless for the past 5 minutes. This is Dykstra giving close over to Puat. Goes up top over to Anumba. Anumba at the free throw line makes the stop. Dykstra lost the basketball, and they're going to call a foul on Miami as Herho is about to race off to the run. Just a tough time to take a foul there for the RedHawks.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Miami. Their pressure was really good. Toledo actually had a mismatch in the paint, but Miami kind of delayed for long enough. They got to switch back, and then there was just a little pick up top that Gonzalez got a hand in, it looked like, and called a foul with the shot clock running down.
Here is Anumba on the inbound, receives it, and she will work around a couple of RedHawks. Cadence Dykstra has it. She will feed over. This is a far jumper from Carrier. She can't get it, but the rebound was loose on the baseline, and this will stay with the Rockets. Almost out of bounds, but instead a foul on Amber Treader in a spot that we've seen a lot of those be called today. So this will stay with Toledo. They're trailing 26-6, 5:30 left to go. And they really need to get this offense going if they want to move on. Patricia Anumba over the top, feeds over. And this is going to go out of bounds, stay with the Rockets again. Last touched by Miami as Evan Carrier had it close to the basket. Cameron Vanden Bosch fed it in. And this is another crack at the net for Toledo. Dykstra on the inbound. She's got Anumba. Shot clock at single digits. Far jumper for Vanden Bosch. No good, but it's tapped back to Toledo from Dykstra. A very long Toledo possession. And now this is going to continue to stay with the Rockets as it was almost out of bounds off of Weaver, but it was last touched by Singer, it looked like. 5 minutes left to go in the quarter. Patricia Anumba on the right wing, dances down the lane. Righty layup falls in. That's Toledo's first point in about 5 minutes. And it's 26-8 here in the second. Very long possession that eventually paid off. Here's Ilsa DeFries down the lane, blocked out of bounds by Evan Carrier, the former Western Michigan Bronco. Good news for the RedHawks. It'll stay right here. Scalia on the inbound goes up top over to Singer. Singer, a little scoop shot over the top. Didn't get the friendly roll, and it returns back to the Rockets. Patricia Anumba with Herho all over her. Not giving her any space. Here is Evan Carrier just outside of the free throw line. 4:30 left to go with Toledo behind 18. Nice little dish inside to a running Evan Carrier. Anumba to Carrier, and it's 26-10. 4 straight points by the Rockets, and now Miami's been scoreless for the past 2 minutes. Scalia over to DeFries. DeFries on the right side, surveying options, feeds inside to a running Singer, and Singer makes the Rockets pay. The RedHawks are up 18, 28-10 here in the second.
That's a great cut. Now Miami's got 3 different players with 8 points. Singer won along with Scalia and DeFries.
RedHawks are dispersing this offense well. Tough jumper in and out from Anumba, who has continued to be a little slow today. She's 1 of 8. And Scalia gets the rebound. Herho over to DeFries with Miami ahead almost by 20. 3.5 left to go in the quarter. Singer cycling back. She'll bounce over to Herho. DeFries feeding to a running Herho. She can't get the layup to go. And the Rockets get another stop on the close side. RedHawks have had a lot of looks on the inside, but they've come up empty on their fair share of them as Ella Weaver gets a tough little shot in the painted area to fall to bring this one within 16. 28-12 Miami. Getting close to crunch time in this second quarter. Amber Scalia with Vanden Bosch defended against her. DeFries straightaway 3-pointer, too strong on that one. Battle for the board, who's gonna come away with it? Toledo had a couple of bodies on it, and they will rule this as a jump ball, and this will go back to Toledo. And honestly, the Rockets a little lucky there. That was a pretty good look from DeFries that she just missed by a slim margin. And now Singer will step out. For the RedHawks, they are rolling Gonzalez, Herho, DeFries, Scalia, and Sakano against this Toledo's group. Under 3 minutes left to go in this first half between Toledo and Miami in the 2026 MAC Women's Basketball Championship game. On the block, this is Dykstra feeding up top over to Evan Carrier. Carrier loses her footing for a moment, but she goes back up top over to Anumba. Shot clock winding down. Got to cook something up here for Toledo. Dykstra lost the dribble. Shot clock winding down. Won't matter as Miami dives on it. They force another shot clock turnover. Overall, Toledo's 14th of the game. And it will go back to the RedHawks. But what a defensive set right in front of Glenn Box. And approaching halftime, you need to continue to reinforce it to the other team that they're going to move on. And they are really forcing it against Toledo in this first half here. Amber Scalia at the free throw line, gives over. Jumper 18-footer for Gonzalez. No, grabs her own miss. This will be a jump on. It'll stay right here with the RedHawks. Overall, Miami and Toledo, the rebounding battle, pretty close. Toledo leading 16-15. 1:47 left to go here in the half with Scalia on the inbound. Will feed over. They eventually get it over to DeFries in the corner. She'll trot over to the middle. Gives close to Singer. Shot clock at 10. Means go time. Here's Tamar Singer, righty scoop shot short. Nice defense by Anumba, and the Rockets have numbers, 5-on-4. Patricia Anumba thought about the jumper. Will cycle over on the far side to Dykstra. Dykstra lost the ball, but they're going to call a foul on Miami. That stops the clock, 1:24. And this foul will be on Tamar Singer. For the RedHawks, only 6 fouls. The most is Amber Treader with 2. And here's Dykstra at the line for some crucial free throws for Toledo. Dykstra, the third-year player at Toledo, gets the first one to fall. Overall, she's a 63% free throw shooter. Second one on the way, and it's good. So Miami has doubled up on Toledo now. It's 28-14 here in the second. 80 seconds left to go. Miami trying to end the half with a bang. Singer bounces close. This is Gonzalez. Gonzalez down the lane, righty layup. No, a little too strong off the rim. She almost got a steal right back. Instead, it stays with the Rockets. Here's Anumba feeding to a slicing Dykstra, and Dykstra gets the lefty layup to fall. 28-16, Miami has it with under a minute left to go. Straightaway three-pointer to Freese off their front rim, and it's back to the Rockets. Toledo looking to push the pace. Patricia Anumba floating over the top, and it's intercepted by Scalia. 15th turnover on Toledo and 7th steal of the game for Miami. The RedHawks hold it here with shot clock and game clock separated by about 10 seconds. Amber Scalia, straightaway three-pointer. Too strong, and Diallo the rebound. Toledo will have it the final possession here in the first half, and the Rockets faithful rise to their feet. Patricia Anumba driving inside. Low block jumper, no. The rebound's picked up by Singer. Singer half-court heave at the buzzer. Way over the top, no good. But that will end the first half on another positive note for Miami. The RedHawks end the first half going scoreless for the past 4 minutes, but still they built up a big lead. They're ahead by 12 and are only 20 minutes away from returning back to March Madness for the first time in 18 years.
Yeah, just look at the players' faces as they're coming off the floor, and I don't think that Miami is very happy with the way they finished that half. And again, with how consistent the effort has been for this team defensively throughout this year, we've seen a few games like this where the offense is just a little bit stagnated, and you know, the vibe of the game is kind of dictated on the defensive end, and because of that, it really feels like Miami is just having their way and handling Toledo right now. But then you look up at the scoreboard, and you're only up 12 at the half. So I think the RedHawks not thrilled. You go scoreless for the last 3:56 of that first half. Pretty slow start offensively for Miami, but again, you made your money off defense all year and continuing to do that. As long as you start scoring some points, maybe at the rate we saw in that first half, Miami will be just fine in the second half.
And 15 turnovers on Toledo, so if they want to win this game, they need to do a lot of things, but at the top of that list, take better care of the basketball. For Miami, they've got 3 leading scorers. It's Scalia, Singer, and DeFries, all with 8 points. And Miami's ahead by 12 after the first 20 minutes here in the MAC Tournament Championship game. Well, that's going to do it for us between Luke West Poley and myself. And we will hand it over to Gavin Stark and Jake Zirolli for the Red Hawk Radio halftime show coming up in just a minute here in Cleveland.
Halftime here inside of Rocket Arena. RedHawks lead 28-16 over the Toledo Rockets, and now 20 minutes away until a winner is crowned and punches their ticket to the March Madness tournament. And what a defensive half it was. Gavin Stark alongside Jake Zirolli here for the halftime report. But what a defensive half was for the RedHawks. Yesterday, that first half, they have 48 points and limit Ohio to 24. Today, they limit Toledo to 16. The offense struggles in little bits and pieces throughout the first half, but overall not a terrible job by the offense, but the defense. Wow, what a half. We probably watched the best first half of offense yesterday from this RedHawk team, and today I think we watched the best defensive half, which is saying a lot from one of the best defensive teams in the country, I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, today has been a defensive slog. Shooting hasn't been great on either side. Miami shooting 41.9% from the field, so not terrible for them, but still not up to their standard. So it has definitely been a defensive-minded game for both teams. But Miami's defense has just been stifling. Kendall Carruthers hasn't even gotten a shot off yet. Patricia Anumba has 2 points on 1 of 9 shooting. They have just been so suffocating on the perimeter. You know, Kendall Carruthers is getting put in the Tamar Singer torture chamber, and Patricia Anumba is getting put in a phone booth whenever she goes anywhere by Nuria Herho, Claudia Gonzalez, Amber Scalia. She's always got somebody on her, and it's been so fun to watch, seeing Miami lock this really talented Toledo team up. Leading scorers Ella Weaver with just 5 points. For Miami, 3 players with 8 points, those 3 being Scalia, Singer, and DeVries. In the rebounds game, for both teams, the leader has 4. For Toledo, it's Weaver, Diala, and Anumba, and for Miami, it is Scalia and Singer. In the assist game, Singer, the leader for Miami, with 3, and also with 3 for Toledo is Patricia Anumba. The defensive game, though, has been really what it's all about. Miami has 8 steals, 3 for Scalia, 2 for Singer and Gonzalez, and 1 for Sicano. For Toledo, 2 steals for them, 1 each for Carruthers and Anumba. No blocks for Miami, 3 for Toledo, being from Diala, Carruthers, and Evan Carrier. But it's just been a dominant defensive performance from the RedHawks. They're having their way out there. No easy shots. They're not letting Toledo manufacture buckets, which is how they got back into the game against Ball State. And the lead is only 12, to be fair. The lead is only 12, and Miami is not having a great offensive day. So if Toledo comes out and bangs out one of those 10 or 11-point runs that we saw against Ball State, this game gets real close real quick. So there is nobody in this gym that thinks this game is over, because it is nowhere close. There's still 20 minutes left of basketball left to play, and I am sure that it will still be solid basketball.
Yeah, and to be quite honest with you, you limit those 2 explosive guards for Toledo and still only up by 12, to really say it. And at one point, Toledo didn't score it until the 3-minute mark of that first quarter. It was 16-0 at one point. So felt like the RedHawks really had their foot on their necks, on the Rockets' necks, and all of a sudden they kind of hang around here after a bad half shooting-wise for Toledo. I feel like Miami didn't take full advantage of it, and if you're gonna have another defensive performance, totally fine. You're gonna win this game easily and comfortably, and the starters will celebrate on the bench to end out that game. But if your defense lets up any type of run, let's say to start off this third quarter, all of a sudden you're gonna need some offensive spark, because right now you don't have much of it at all. I mean, offensively shooting 41% from the field. Tamar Singer's shot 8 shots already, 4 for 8. You don't see her usually shoot that many shots, especially in the first half of the game. So if she's going to be offense, that's fine, you know. But got to figure that out. The 2 guards have been brilliant, Scalia and Singer with 8, like you said. But both of them also with 4 rebounds is so impressive. And 5 steals together as well. Those 2 have been locked down around the perimeter. And then off the bench, it's been really impressive what Gonzalez has done defensively. She has struggled offensively 0 for 4 from the field, but defensively, they're not skipping a beat when she goes out there on the floor.
The best teams can win games multiple ways. And yesterday we saw Miami win against Ohio by smoking them out of the gym, scoring 80 points, shooting 50% from 3. Now today, 25% from 3, only 28 points in the first half. You have to find out if you can win a game another way, and they're finding that out right now, and they've done just a fantastic job. 16 points for Toledo in this first half is just remarkable after an equally as good Ball State team led up 69 to them in the game. It would certainly be a feat if Toledo was able to get up anywhere close to that number in this game here. I'll be surprised if both teams break the 60 mark. I think Miami will here on pace. I think their shooting will take an upturn and carry them past the 60 mark, but I'll be surprised if Toledo also passes it. It's going to be another defensively minded second half, I think. After the first half was also a defensive struggle. But sometimes that's how the best games are. College basketball is something that people enjoy more than the NBA sometimes or the WNBA in this case, I suppose, because the defense is there. There's defensive effort. There's heart on both sides for every single second of the game. That's something that you may be missing at the professional level, but something that people really enjoy about college basketball. That's why they love these kinds of games, these kinds of tournaments, this time of year. They say we sleep in May, and we really do sleep in May because this month of March is going to be awesome. April, too, who knows, either these teams may make it there, but Miami with a great first half on the defensive side.
Yeah, 6:45 to go until the second half gets underway here inside of Rocket Arena. Just 20 minutes away from someone punching their ticket, and you start to feel that when you're a player at times. The nerves may hit you, but both of these teams offensively struggled, so I do expect it offensively to pick up a little bit. I think you said you expect another defensive half. I do too, but I also expect this Miami team to shoot the ball better, and I expect this Toledo team to shoot a lot better. They're shooting 25% from the field right now. That's not going to be something that sustains into the second half, and Miami knows that. They do know that. They know Patricia Numba or Kendall Carruthers is going to make some shots. Carruthers also had 2 fouls early in that first half, up to 3 now, so you're going to have to keep your eyes out for that as well throughout this second half. I mean, Numba's played all 20 minutes, but Carruthers only playing 11 because of those 3 fouls. That's going to be a big issue if she picks up that 4th early, and it's going to turn into just Numba carrying that offense who's struggled from the field so far. It's going to be a lot of weight to carry on her shoulders.
If you're Toledo right now, you're thinking it can't go on like this, can it? But if you're Miami, you're saying it can. They're playing such good defense. Toledo only shooting 25% from the floor, 2 of 6 from 3. They've just limited their shot selection to poor shots. They haven't allowed them to slow possessions down and manufacture buckets because the perimeter defense is it's so stifling. It really is so good. And the interior defense as well. Shredder and DeFries have been very, very good. Herho has also gotten down into the post sometimes. When needed, she's been very, very good on the defensive side as well. Even though she hasn't recorded a steal or a block, she's been up front pressing, but also able to get back and help in the rebounding game and help in the post. She only got 1 board, but her interior defense has also been solid. A taller guard like that at 5'10", you end up playing that dual defensive role like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be an interesting second half because looking at that first half, all straight up defense, but these two teams have showed explosive offenses throughout this entire season and this tournament as well. So expecting things to maybe ramp up a little bit, or it might stay defensively, and I think Miami's going to take it that way. Either way, though, 4 minutes and 20 seconds away, from the second half being back and underway as the teams go back to shoot around on the court and warm back up for this second half. And Jake, what are some let's go. What's a player you expect to take over in the second half, or maybe carry on from the first half into the second half?
I think we have to see more from Patricia Numba here, don't we? There's simply no way she stays with just 2 points. And in that same vein, Kendall Carruthers, 0 points. She hasn't taken a shot yet. There's no way that continues. It simply can't if Toledo wants anything to do with this game. So maybe that's what happens. Maybe Toledo just has nothing to do with this game. But I think they're not done yet. I think they go on a little run here to start the half, get things interesting, and just how Miami can respond to that. Kendall Carruthers surely cannot be kept without even taking a shot, let alone without any points. So in only 11 minutes for her picking up those 3 fouls, you wonder how big of a role she'll play. But if she does end up having to take a back seat and sit down for some of this half, Patricia Numba has to step up. Also, Miriam Diallo, 0 points down there in the post, 0 of 2 from the floor. 4 rebounds and a block for her, so solid on the boards on the defensive end, but has to start winning that post battle because Treader and DeFries are playing really well with 12 points and 4 rebounds between them.
Yeah, a great defensive performance from the RedHawks in that first half. Can they carry that into the second half? I'll go with my player real quick before we sign off and send it back to Andrew and Luke for the second half coverage, but I'm going to go with Tamar Singer here in the second half. She's already shot 8 shots. I think she's feeling it, honestly. 4 for 8 from the field, and when she is feeling it offensively, she can really take over a game. Had 25 points the other night in her game, tying her career high. I think she could get up into that 15-point mark. She's already got 4 rebounds and 3 assists, 2 steals as well. I think she's going to continue to play great defense, pass the ball really well, and also take the shots that she has available and get to her spots on the floor. So, some high expectations for this Miami team as they lead by 12 when we head into the second half, but can the RedHawks finish it just a half away from doing so and punching their ticket to March Madness? I've been Gavin, Jake Zirolli alongside. We will give you a full coverage report after this one wraps up and finishes, and hopefully we're talking about a Miami RedHawk victory as they hoist the trophy here. Thanks for listening to the Halftime Report on the Red Hawk Radio Network. We'll kick it back to Luke West, Poley, and Andrew Relvas for second half coverage.
"20 minutes down and 20 minutes to go for the RedHawks to make it back to March Madness for the first time in 18 years here in the MAC Women's Basketball Tournament Championship game. Andrew Relvas alongside Luke West, Poley, and Luke. It was a good start for the RedHawks, but like last game, I mean, there's still some things to clean up. The RedHawks haven't been playing perfect, but still good enough to have a nice lead, and they're looking to continue that here in Cleveland.
Yeah, the way that Miami defends, I think if you come out with a similar intensity, at the very least just playing the mental game with Toledo, you can make a 12-point lead feel like it's a 30-point lead. If you make it as difficult on the Rockets to score in this half as you did to start the game, it'll be Toledo ball to kick off the half, I believe, and yeah, it will be. So important possession coming up here for Miami to continue to set that tone defensively. They've started both quarters off really, really well on the defensive end, hoping to clean some stuff up offensively, but again, just hoping that intensity continues on this end of the floor.
Big storyline, 15 turnovers for Toledo, and the RedHawks have really enjoyed that all year long. In comes the cutting Kendall Carruthers. She misses the close layup on the board. It is both Diala and Treader vying for possession, and this will go back to the RedHawks' possession arrow in favor of them. So Miami starts out strong, an opening stop, and now let's see what this offense can do. Last game, Miami scored 80 points, but obviously a much different and more defensive savvy game. Here's Tamar Singer feeding in the paint. A little tapper down low, but just out of reach from Ilsa DeFries, and the RedHawks turn it over on the offensive end.
It's not a great start. You turn the ball over. And I think on that first offensive possession, you got a little lucky that there was a miss right at the bucket from Toledo, but I think could be a little better in those first 30 seconds for Miami on both ends. Had some issues at the shot clock, remedying those out, now back playing again.
And Toledo will work it from right to left. Ella Weaver had it on the inbound, gives close to Dykstra, and she's across the timeline. Here's Miriam Diala, the George Washington transfer. Hands close to Kendall Carruthers, the All-MAC guard. Lefty layup falls in, and she gets it on the ground. An opening bucket for Toledo, and it is a 10-point game now. Right wing three for Treader, and it's good. What a start for the RedHawks, getting their first three-pointer to fall. Miami's up 13 in the third. Here is Toledo. Dykstra gets the basket to fall. And back and forth we go here in Rocket Arena. Both sides trading blows early. Tamar Singer works it quickly in the paint. Will feed out over to DeFries, who's made a couple of threes today. DeFries will take it in the paint herself, and she finishes over the top of a couple of Rockets. And Miami's ahead 33-20 in the third. So now it feels like these offenses are starting to get going here in this third. Straightaway three-pointer, and it's pure for Patricia Anumba. Anumba gets her second field goal to fall. She's up to 5, and it's 33-23, back to a 10-point game before Scalia was all alone and makes Toledo pay on an island. Gets the layup to go off the left hand and in. So after both kind of slow first couple of quarters offensively, these two teams each have 7 apiece in the first few minutes. And now Ella Weaver took a wild shot that went over the top of the rim and out of bounds. So that'll be an out of bounds turnover on Weaver, the junior. For the RedHawks overall, shooting 47% from the floor, and they are 3 of 9 from deep. Herho going inside. This is Amber Treader. Treader has 7. Will feed up top over to Singer. Goes to Scalia. Scalia racing down the lane, puts on the brakes, goes over to Singer. Singer righty floater short, and Diallo the rebound. Dykstra will take it herself. Dykstra puts up a lefty circus shot. She almost got the friendly roll, but she will instead go to the free throw line as that foul was on Tamar Singer. And for the RedHawks, it felt like this lead was a lot, but it's really only 12. I mean, Toledo's just a couple of runs away from really getting back into it. Dykstra at the line makes the first one. The junior, she has 7 points, and she misses the second. She splits the trip. It's Miami leading by 11, 35-24. RedHawks working across the front court, and they swing it around. Here's Singer on the right wing, goes over up top. This is Treader. They kick out left wing for Scalia, in and out halfway home. And Singer fouls Weaver as she was basically off to the races. So those are a couple of quick fouls on Tamar Singer. That's her third.
And that's been sometimes an issue for Singer this year. She's great on the ball, pressuring like that, bringing it up the floor, but sometimes just can cross the line. And we've seen situations exactly like what we just saw, where all of a sudden you pick up a couple quick fouls and it completely changes your ability to impact the game, and she's got to go sit the bench.
Anumba works around a Diallo screen at the free throw line. Will bounce it down low. Here's Miriam Diallo, and she gets it over the top of DeFries and in. And just like that, the Rockets are only down 9. 35-26 here in the MAC championship. Sakano stands on the edge of the MAC logo and wants a reset for this team, directing traffic. Shot clock at 10. Gives close to Scalia on the wing. Loose ball, but it's picked back up by Herho. Shot clock winding down. Treader near corner 3. It's good. Amber Treader gets another three-pointer to fall, her second of the morning. And Miami leads by 12 again. And Kendall Carruthers tight-roping on the baseline, somehow kept it in, gives close to Dykstra, back over Diallo. And Diallo put up a shot. She was fouled. There was certainly contact, but the question is, did DeFries touch the ball first? And they're going to say no. Now we see Cameron Vanden Bosch coming in. And here are some free throws coming up for Diallo. Diallo only 2 points as she makes that one. Transfer from the A-10 at George Washington. 71% free throw shooter. Second one on the way is short on the right side, so she goes 1 of 2. And Miami is ahead 38-27. 5:50 left to go in the quarter. Miami controlling on the near timeline. Treader in a trap, feeds to a running Scalia, and Scalia gets it to go off the glass and in. Nicely done from the St. Thomas transfer. Back to a 13-point lead for Miami. Here is Ella Weaver with Treader all over her, and Weaver finishes regardless. So back and forth both sides trading blows inside the painted area. Back to an 11-point game with Sakano trying to hand close to Scalia, but it was last touched out of bounds by Anumba, the native of Silver Spring, Maryland. And for the Rockets, Coach Bogus bringing in a couple of subs to try and keep the Rockets above water here. Treader on the inbound close to the coach box. 5:17 left to go. Hands over to Sakano. Sakano bounces, goes Treader, and they feed it on the far side to Scalia. Here's Gonzalez, puts on the brakes, will feed over. Up top, here's Amber Treader, thought about the three-pointer, she'll kick out. DeFries for 3 on the far side, no good. And that's another board for Kendall Carruthers. Another good look by Miami, but just an empty possession there. Over here's Evan Carrier on the high block, will hand over. Step back 3 for Carruthers. It looked good on the way up, but that one's way short. And the Miami band letting her hear it with the air ball chance. It'll be Miami basketball after our media timeout, but overall a good offensive start for both sides here in the third quarter, with Miami still leading. They're up 40-29 in the 2026 MAC Women's Basketball Championship game between the Rockets and the RedHawks. We'll be right back here in Cleveland. Back from the timeout, 4:42 left to go here in the third quarter between Miami and Toledo in the MAC Women's Basketball Championship game here in Cleveland, Ohio. Miami is ahead 40-29, but this has been a game that's been back and forth, especially in this third quarter. Both sides pretty much even. Toledo has scored 13 and Miami 12. The RedHawks will have possession and they'll work it from left to right. Here's Mio Sakano will bounce close to the free throw line over to Treader. Treader trying to thread the needle to DeFries, but it's stripped away by the Rockets. Here come the thundering Rockets. It's Ella Weaver will cycle back, and Toledo will reset. Kendall Carruthers directing traffic, searching for open bodies, and she hands close. Ella Weaver at the free throw line, floats over the top into a running Evan Carrier. A nice little dime, but she was fouled, and she'll go to the line. First foul on Sakano, and despite a kind of slow game for Anumba, Ella Weaver's really picked it up. Anumba was the leading scorer in the last game, and here is Carrier at the line, and she sinks the first one. The former Western Michigan Bronco for a few seasons. Second one on the way, and it is good. And now Miami's lead is just 9, 40-31 here in the third. Now let's see what the RedHawks can cook up here. Mio Sakano gets it across the timeline with Anumba right in front of her. Sakano bounces over. This is Treader. Gives close to Gonzalez. Gonzalez feeds in the paint. A little tapper. This is DeFries. DeFries 1-on-2, and she puts it on the top and in over two Rockets, and the RedHawks lead 42-31 in the third. I mean, DeFries is just so good in that painted area. She has really made a living all season long there. Kendall Carruthers on the left wing. Draws the double team with Gonzalez right around her. Loose ball. Jump ball, but this will stay with Toledo. So a nice heads-up play there from both Sakano and Gonzalez to really pounce on it. And now we see Herho walking past the bench, and she will take the place of Amber Scalia. 3.5 minutes left to go in the third. Miami's lead is 11. Carrier bounces over. This is Anumba. Anumba, tough shot. A righty layup will fall short, but another foul will be called against Miami. And that's on Nuria Herho, who just mentioned, just checked in. Fifth foul as well, so for the rest of this quarter, Toledo will be shooting free throws. And here's Anumba at the line. Got to make these free throws, especially in a championship game. First free throw is good from her, the Towson Tigers transfer. Also spent time at UMBC, and in her last game scored 29 points and 9 rebounds. Second one rattles in, and Miami's lead is 9 again, 42-33. Sakano gets it across the MAC logo, passes over to Gonzalez, and it's taken away by Anumba. Off to the races, righty layup is off the glass and in, counted and one. A scoop and score for Patricia Anumba. And she gets the Rockets faithful right back in this one. It's only a 7-point game. Overall, Toledo outscoring Miami 19-14 in the third. And don't look now, but Toledo is knocking on your doorstep. Now Coach Box bringing in some cavalry with Singer and Scalia both checking in. And Luke, I mean, Toledo's a 6 seed, but they're certainly good. You got to be careful with these guys.
They've done this all tournament too.
And Anumba gets the and one to fall.
Slower start today than what they've been used to over the past couple games, but they have fought back hard in games before in this tournament, and they've done it again today.
42-36 Miami. It's a 5-0 run by the Rockets. Now let's see if the RedHawks can answer. And Singer drew the foul on Anumba. That stops the clock at 2:59. And, I mean, that's exactly what they did against Ball State. They were down in the first quarter, but they absolutely blitzed them in the middle quarters to eventually pull off a huge upset against the Cardinals. Miami basketball on the close timeline. Treader hands close to Singer, and Tamar will run a set. Gets a screen from Treader on the right side, and she'll race down the other way. Righty layup falls short. Both Singer and Diala came flying in. It'll be a jump ball. Stays with the RedHawks, but 4.1 left on the shot clock. So I got to work quickly here if you're the RedHawks. It's Scalia on the far baseline. Searching for open RedHawk receivers. Feeds all the way near half court to Singer. Shot clock winding down. Got to put something up. Scoop shot at the end of that shot clock for Singer. Falls off, and it goes back to Carruthers and the Rockets. Dancing the other way, here's Vanden Bosch as she's tarped by Treader near the baseline. Vanden Bosch in the paint puts up a wild shot that somehow didn't go out of bounds. And DeFries gets the rebound. Back to Singer, over to Treader. Treader barreling down the lane, righty layup short, grabs her own miss. Second chance shot, and she was fouled. Nicely done by Treader, the All-MAC first team forward. And she will get rewarded with some free throws. And overall for Miami, this is only got to be their third and fourth free throws. Toledo has shot 11, and they made 9 of them. Now it's Treader's turn to make some crucial free throws. She's brought her A game so far, 10 points and 6 rebounds. The junior from Ferdinand, Indiana. First free throw on the way, and she misses it. Miami's now 0 of 3 from the free throw line. Treader looking for redemption, and she gets it. Miami's ahead 43-36. 2:12 left to go in this third quarter. That is absolutely delivered in the excitement levels. Ella Weaver cycling back from the free throw line will bounce low. Here's Marissa Diala. Will feed inside to a cutting Anumba, and she makes it off the glass and in. And just like that, it's a 5-point game. 5-point lead for the RedHawks. The Rockets are rolling right now in this third quarter. Here's Scalia. Puts on the brakes. Trying to get away from Carruthers. Scalia, scoop layup, falls in. A beautiful response from this Toledo Rockets squad, and Miami's ahead by 7 again in the third. Back and forth we go. Carruthers, free throw jumper, doesn't get the friendly roll. Bounced away, and Miami keeps it for the time being. Amber Treader the rebound. Here's Scalia at the free throw line. Will feed out over to DeFries on the far wing. Gives close. This is to Gonzalez. 1 minute left to go in the third. Miami ahead 45-38. Gonzalez on the right side. Gets a screen from Treader. Gonzalez, righty floater. No good. Too strong on that one. Anumba the rebound. Gives over Carruthers. Back to Anumba. Anumba at the free throw line. 18-footer falls in, and here come the Rockets. Back to a 5-point game, and they are rolling here in the third quarter, outscoring Miami 24-17. Miami has it for the final full possession in this third. Nuria Herho near half court. 5-point advantage for Miami. Ilsa DeFries bounces down low. Amber Treader, righty layup. No good, but a foul is called on Miriam Diala. Stops it at 13.3, and Treader will go back to the free throw line. Well, after a really slow start for Anumba, she's quickly up to 14 points, 5 of 13. And here's Treader at the line. She makes the first one. And again, you're going to need a good performance from your guards if you want to win this game. And Anumba has definitely positioned Toledo well in that regard. And here's Treader back at the stripe. Second one on the way, and it falls in. She's now 3 of 4, up to 13 points, and Miami leads 47-40 in the third quarter. 13.3 left to go. We'll see what the Rockets want to do with it here. Cadence Dykstra has it. Finally gets it across the timeline. Clock at 7. Got to work something quickly here. Diallo over to Dykstra. Time winding down. 2 seconds left to go. Loose ball on the floor. The Rockets won't get a shot off, and that will end the third quarter. But what a response by this Toledo Rockets squad. Able to draw this one within single digits and bring this to a 7-point game. Get your popcorn ready. We've got a fun finish here in Cleveland and Rocket Arena between the Rockets and the RedHawks in the 2026 SMAC Championship Finals between these two squads. We'll be right back. .30 minutes down and 10 to go in the 2026 MAC Women's Basketball Tournament Final between Toledo and Miami. And for the RedHawks, they are hoping to go dancing for the first time in 18 years and make it to March Madness. But this 10-minute stretch here, it's got to be your best quarter of the season. And for the RedHawks, trying to weather the storm after Toledo outscored Miami 24-19 to end that third quarter. Andrew Relvas alongside Luke West-Poley. Luke, what is it going to take for the RedHawks to get it done today?
Got to start taking care of the basketball. That was really when Toledo started to go on a run. Miami stacked a couple of turnovers up in that third quarter and just have to get back to some of that defensive disruption. We saw a lot of cutting, a lot of scoring in the paint for Toledo. They're up to 22 points in the painted area, and a lot of it is just off of maybe a ball screen, then you get a roller to the basket, and in the first quarter, Miami was getting hands in those passing lanes. They were not in that third quarter, and that was when Toledo started to chip away.
And Patricia Numba controls the basketball. She is the leading scorer for the Rockets, up to 14. Kendall Carruthers has it, dancing down the lane. Lefty layup over the top, no good. Great defense by DeFries, and the RedHawks stop it on the first offensive possession for Toledo. 7-point advantage for Miami, and they are looking to build on it here in the opening window. Tamar Singer with the Numba will go on the left side over to DeFries, who lost the basketball for a moment. Shot clock at 10, gives over. Tamar Singer, deep three on the right wing, no good. She was all alone, and she can't answer. Back to Toledo. Kendall Carruthers, the rebound. Stops her dribble for a moment, and she drives inside. She'll feed out over to Ella Weaver. Loose ball on the floor. In comes the diving Scalia, and this will be possession Miami. A great job from the St. Thomas transfer to make a heads-up play on the floor. That gives possession right back to the RedHawks.
And that's just what you want. Really well done by Scalia. Get a hand on the ball, go down on the floor. Got piled up on, but that is what Miami's defensive identity is built off of, is those deflections and forcing turnovers.
16 turnovers on Toledo today. Amber Scalia has it on the far wing, feeds in the paint. This is Amber Treader. Treader against Diala, trying to shake her. Treader over the top and in, counted and one. What a play from Amber Treader. She's up to 15, and Miami can push their lead to double digits with a converted free throw. Treader showing why she's a big game player. The All-MAC first team forward, has been that type of player all throughout her time here at Miami. Treader, her free throw is in and out. The rim spatted out, and Miami's lead will stay at 9. 49-40. 8:45 left to go. Ilsa, or rather that was Nuria Herho, who lost her balance. This is a left wing three to answer, and it falls in for Ella Weaver to bring this one to a 6-point game. 4th three-pointer of the morning for Toledo. Here's Ilsa DeFries down the lane, and this is going to be a travel on Miami. DeFries had good positioning, but just a little too fast with her feet, and it returns back to the arms of the Rockets. Six-point game, and still anyone's contest to win here in Cleveland. On the inbound, it's Weaver. She gives over to Dykstra. The RedHawks employing a press. The Rockets break it as they push it across the timeline. Kendall Carruthers might have thought about a screen. She'll take it herself. Euro step layup down the lane, ready to lay up short. Loose ball. Diala had it for a moment, but it's eventually picked back up by Anumba near the half-court line. Back to Weaver. She'll take a far elbow jumper, and this is going to be a loose ball foul, or rather a foul on the floor against Miami. So it will remain with the Rockets. Treader is called for the foul. And for the Rockets, they have really been able to generate a lot of second chance opportunities with some timely rebounding. And they do it again right there. Carruthers over the top, floats it to Evan Carrier, and Carrier will go on the right side over to Anumba. Anumba against Singer. Goes up top to Dykstra. She had a wide open shot, she doesn't take it. Shot clock at 8. Dykstra forces Scalia to the floor, misses the close layup, and that's just a missed opportunity by Toledo. When you had a wide open lane and you couldn't convert the layup. 49-43 RedHawks. Amber Treader receives a pass from DeFries. Treader in the free throw line. It falls in again. Amber Treader's up to 5 quick points, and Miami pushes the lead to 8 again. 51-43 Miami in the fourth, as Anumba can't get the layup to go. She tried to split the trees. Comes up short. And now Toledo's been scoreless for the past minute and a half. Miami trying to force momentum their way. Singer gives up top. This is Treader inside the lane. Missed the layup, and it goes back to Weaver. And Singer forces a steal, but they're going to call a foul on her. She can't believe it. Glenn Box is barking right in front of the head referee there. This is a big call, Luke.
Yeah, and that's the 4th foul for Tamar Singer. And she is just pleading with the official on the near side. And finally, Glenn Box has to come over and just tell her that that's okay and just got to come and take a seat and cool off for a moment. But that is really frustrating for Miami and Tamar Singer to pick up the 4th foul like that. Again, we just see relentless ball pressure and a difficult one to swallow now for Miami. They'll have to play without her for at least, you'd think, the next 3 minutes or so.
6:30 left to go. This Toledo deficit is 8. Here comes Carruthers, and she can't get the layup to go. Toledo's been empty on a lot of those possessions right in front of the basket. Back to Miami. They need some points here. Scalia over to DeFries, back up top. This is Treader. Treader feeding inside to a slicing Sakano, but it's taken away. Another turnover by Miami. That's their 13th of the game. Here comes Toledo pushing the pace. Weaver on the far side floats over the top, and this is to Carruthers. Evan Carrier inside to a wide open Dykstra. A defensive breakdown by Miami, and this RedHawks lead is cut to 6 again. Toledo has been dissecting Miami defensively in the painted area. Maria Herhal with Dykstra hounded on top of her, and they're going to call a foul on Cadence as she was a little over anxious. RedHawks basketball, 5:42 left to go in the 4th. Treader on the inbound over to Sakano. Sakano against Anumba. Will go over. Left wing 3 for DeFries. She drains it. Huge three-pointer for the RedHawks, their 5th of the game, and Miami leads 54-45 in the midway point in the 4th quarter. The Rockets hoping for a quick response. Keno Carruthers at the free throw line, bounces down low, and she feeds to Evan Carrier, who converts the layup in traffic. Back to a 7-point advantage for Miami. 5 minutes away from advancing into March Madness for the first time in 18 years. Amber Treader in the paint, got the jumping Carrier. She can't convert the first one. Second time, she was fouled as she got a pretty good look at the net. And now we will take immediate timeout. 4:49 left to go, and this is going to be a really fun finish between two really good MAC teams in the 2026 MAC Women's Basketball Tournament Final between the RedHawks and the Rockets here in downtown Cleveland. We'll be right back. Final 4 minutes and change in the 2026 MAC women's basketball season between Toledo and Miami. And this is shaping up to be another instant classic in the MAC tournament finals. Amber Treader will go to the free throw line to try and push Miami's lead to 9. First free throw on the way from Treader, and it's good. Toledo trying to make it back to March Madness for the first time in 3 years as Treader makes the first one, and Miami first time in 18 years. So 2 different teams trying to end some droughts. Dykstra over to Weaver in the paint. She feeds to a knifing Diala, and they eventually work it back over to Dykstra. Dykstra defended by Scalia, searching for space and real estate. Lefty layup is short, and the rebound is picked up by Nuria Herho. Huge defensive board there by the Spaniard, and it will go back to the RedHawks. Amber Scalia goes on the right side. This is to Herho. They shift over to Scalia, bounces right close to Ilsa DeFree. Shot clock at 10. Amber Treader handing close. Nuria Herho thought about the three-pointer. She'll take it herself, driving inside, dashing down the lane. Righty layup is short, and it goes back to the Rockets. 5-on-4, here come the Thundering Rockets. And Herho gets back. The RedHawks stop the fast break. Far corner 3 from Anumba, and it bottoms in. A big three-pointer by Anumba, her 17th of the game, and it's back to a 6-point game. Here's Nuria Herho circling back, and Coach Box will take a timeout. Wants to talk some things over, and he wants to ensure this Miami team has the best 3.5 minutes of the season right here. They need to execute on everything in order to move on. We will take a quick break inside Rocket Arena between the Rockets and the RedHawks in the MAC Finals. Three minutes and 34 to go in this championship game. 6-point lead for Miami. It'll be RedHawks basketball on the close timeline. Waiting the referee's official signal to begin play. Not really sure what is the holdup here. And now the buzzer sounds, so we will resume play very soon. Looks like both sides were just anxious to play. They were ready to get going a little early. So here we go. RedHawks basketball. Scalia has it. Goes Close over to Singer, and Singer lost the basketball right next to Glenn Box, but it was last touched by Anumba. Treader inbounding. Singer has it. Trotting on the far side, just past the MAC logo. Here's Tamar Singer down the lane. Scoop shot, layup, counted, and the foul. What a play from Tamar Singer, who took it all the way downtown and gives Miami an 8-point lead with the free throw coming right up.
Yeah, Tamar Singer really just makes everything go for Miami offensively, and you could tell they were in a bit of a funk when she was out of the game. RedHawks called that timeout to get her in for the end of that possession.
And Singer converts the three-point play. 9-point lead again for Miami with 3 minutes and 20 left to go. Toledo trying to continue to collect improbable wins against the top teams in the MAC. They've already defeated the 3 seed, the 2 seed, trying to make it the 1 as Anumba makes a tough layup in traffic to fall to bring this game to a 7-point advantage for Miami. The RedHawks trying to stay the course. Here's Tamar Singer. Beautiful dish inside to Nuria Earls, who misses the first layup, but she was fouled from behind by Weaver. I mean, that was an unreal pass, Luke. 3 Rockets came colliding on her, and now we got an injured Rocket on the floor. This looks like it's Anumba. And she's getting attention from all 4 of her Toledo teammates. And now we will step away and take an injury timeout here in Rocket Arena. We'll be right back. So we're back after a brief little timeout. Anumba is up and walking, but both her and Singer took a big collision. And both of them exchanging a mini hug. So they're both okay. Everybody's fine now. And Nuria Herhol will take a trip for some crucial free throws. She clangs the first one, a little strong on that one. Herho is a 71% free throw shooter. Second one on the way, and it falls in. Miami's ahead 60-52, under 3 to play in the MAC championship game. Carruthers over to Diala. Diala against DeFries, and DeFries gets the stop, wins the battle for now, as Treader comes skying in for the jump ball. It'll stay with Toledo, though. But a nice box out by Treader to collect that for a moment. And Scalia will step in for Gonzalez. 8-point lead for Miami, trying to weather the storm and hold on here. Ella Weaver over to Keno Carruthers on the far wing. Carruthers against Singer. Carruthers, or rather that was Nuria Herho. If that was Singer, that would have been her 5th, but still second on Herho, and that stops the clock, 2:29. 3rd foul on Miami in this period, and the Rockets will inbound again. Ella Weaver lobbing over the top, and this is back to Keno Carruthers inside the 3-point line. Carruthers going on the left side, searching for space, and she's got Weaver straight away. Weaver lost the basketball, the dribble. It's taken away by the RedHawks. Herho had it for a moment, and she instead cycles back as Toledo was applying pressure. Miami basketball up 8 and searching for the dagger. 2 minutes left to go now. Tamar Singer orchestrating the offense. She'll take it herself at the free throw line, kicking out. Scalia, right wing 3, in and out, no good. There's Treader for the rebound, another offensive board for her. And more time will tick off in this possession. Singer, a low dribble on the right side. will roll around a few Rockets. She'll take it herself. Righty layup is short, and the rebound goes back to Weaver, and a foul's called on Scalia.
That ends up actually being fine for Miami because they had a foul to give. That's fortunate for the RedHawks. Did not want to foul Toledo and let them shoot with the clock stopped here with just 1:31 to go. But that was a really strong, even though you don't score, back-to-back possessions where you defend for about a minute and then you get an offensive rebound, which allows you to run basically another minute close to it off the clock. And again, you don't end up scoring, but you keep it an 8-point game, and you just caused a lot of time to come off for the Rockets, and now they're into desperation mode.
90 seconds left to go on. Toledo's down 8. They need a miracle here. Miami hoping to avoid that, though. Naria Herho with Kendall Carruthers gives over. This is Ella Weaver feeding in the paint. Over to Anumba. Anumba righty layup. Falls in, counted and one. That's a really tough basket there for the RedHawks with a chance to cut this to 5. That's probably the one thing you didn't want to have happen, and it did right there. The foul as well on Gonzalez, her second. So now Anumba will step up to the line. She's got 21. It's been a really good game for her after a slow start. Anumba cuts this Miami lead to 5. RedHawks ahead 60-55, and here come the full court pressure of the Rockets. Alicia Dykstra trying to take one away from Singer as she slaps her off. A minute left to go. Miami 1 minute away from returning back to March Madness. Tamar Singer with Dykstra right next to her. Goes in the paint. Here's DeFries trying to get around a few Rockets. DeFries in the paint, misses the layup, and the ball as well. Picked up by Carruthers, and here comes the racing Rockets. They go up top. This is Anumba, a long two. She missed it. Rebound goes back to Miami. A lot of time has come off. 37.8 left to go, and the RedHawks are going to have it for likely 2 more possessions. 5-point lead for Miami, and that was the 6th foul on Toledo, so an even more of a harder comeback bid has become even more difficult with these free throws coming up for Miami. The hills become that much higher as that foul is on Diala. Treader at the line to try and make this one really tough, and she makes the first one. 6-point lead for the RedHawks with another made free throw. That one might do it with just under 40 left to go. Second one from Treader, and it's good. 7-point lead for the RedHawks with 37.8 seconds left to go, and head coach Bogus will take a timeout and try and save Toledo's season here in Cleveland. And since this is a 30-second timeout, we'll keep it right here, Luke. Overall, 37 seconds left, 7-point lead for Miami. What is it going to take, again, for the RedHawks to really finish this one out here in Cleveland?
Yeah, hopefully you can shoot the free throw well. Good job by Amber Treader to sink both of those after the RedHawks as a team struggled from the line today. But now it's all about just staying fundamental, making sure that you can disrupt, you can cause some time to come off the clock, but you cannot allow three-point shots, and you cannot foul and let Toledo score at the free throw line with the clock stopped. If you're Miami here, again, with a 7-point lead, giving up a 2-point basket is not the end of the world if you can force the Rockets to go through a lot of action, run a lot of time off the clock. The only thing you don't want here if you're the RedHawks is either a 3-point shot, a foul, or something really quick for Toledo.
And their top point getter has been Anumba, so got to keep her away from good looks. I'm sure they will try and continue to hammer it her way. 62-55 Miami over Toledo in the MAC final. It'll be Rockets basketball on the far side. As this is Anumba on the inbound. She goes over to Weaver. Weaver in the paint. Over to RedHawks. She misses the close layup. Loose ball. Who's it going to stay with? And it will stay with the RedHawks. Or no, excuse me. This is going to stay with the Rockets. hard to see on the far side.
I think they are actually giving it to Miami. I just
Okay.
think that Toledo's going to challenge this. This is essentially a timeout.
You might as well. I mean, 33 seconds left, essentially. You got to take as many chances as you can. And the referees will take a look at this. We'll step away for a brief timeout. Miami just about 33 seconds away from making it back to March Madness. So after a brief review, possession returns to Toledo. Stays with the Rockets right here. And for Miami, up 62-55. Just got to play strong defense for the final couple of possessions, if there are any. Weaver on the inbound, goes over Anumba. Anumba on the left wing with Singer right in front of her. Anumba, her three-pointer's in and out. The rebound goes back to Singer, and she was fouled. 26.4 left to go. And Miami will take a timeout. And after that, Singer will be shooting some free throws. So now we'll take another timeout here in Cleveland with the RedHawks on the brink of moving on and winning the MAC for the first time in 18 years. Stay with us. Miami has it, 26.4. This is DeFries, and she draws the foul. And I believe that will send her to the free throw line. 7th on Toledo. And I had it wrong before, but now DeFries will officially go to the free throw line for Miami. 24.7 left to go in the game. Biggest free throws of the season for DeFries. You can essentially end it right here. She makes the first one. DeFries, the native of the Netherlands. Second one falls in. Miami leads by 9, and this one is likely going to do it. 24.7 seconds left to go, and Toledo will take another timeout. They will have it for the final 24.7, and they're going to need really everything if they want to walk away here with a win. And they're going to need a monumental Miami collapse if the RedHawks are to lose this game. And even worse for Toledo, the time is not on your side. So it's really going to be a really tough uphill climb. But we'll wait and see when we return from our timeout here in Cleveland. Be right back. Just under 25 seconds away from Miami beating Toledo and winning the MAC for the first time in 18 years. For the Rockets, they'll have possession. It'll be Ella Weaver on the inbound. Weaver floats over the top, out of the arms of Treader for a moment, stays with the Rockets. Here's a near corner three from Carruthers, but she was fouled. So a wild couple of moments there, and that gives the Rockets a little bit of room here. Carruthers will go to the line to shoot 3. Carruthers so far today only 2 points. First one with the left hand, it falls in. Scored 12 points in her last game. And overall, she's a 75% free throw shooter. Second one on the way from Kendall Carruthers, and she drops it in. Carruthers trying to go 3 of 3 at the stripe, and she does just that. So the one thing that Miami didn't want to happen, they fouled Carruthers on the three-point shot, and that will take us to another media time, or rather another quick timeout from Miami. 6-point game, 21 seconds left to go now. .21 seconds left to go in this one between Toledo and Miami in the 2026 MAC Women's Basketball Tournament Finals. It'll be Miami possession. Amber Scalia holds it with the RedHawks up by 6, and she feeds over to Treader, who was fouled quickly by Diala. And that is Diala's 5th, so she is out. And in comes Cameron Vanden Bosch to take her place. 19.6 seconds left to go, so only a second and change went off on that. And Treader awaits the signal from the referees. Coach Ginny Bogus of Toledo creating a mini huddle, instructing some of the Rockets players to their respective spots. And Toledo just trying to find anything to win this one. Treader's first free throw is good. Miami has made 12 free throws now, and they lead 65-58. A lot of these free throws have come in the 4th. Second one on the way from Amber is good. Back to a 8-point lead for the RedHawks. Miami employing a full court pressure, and initially it looked like she stepped out of bounds, but I guess she didn't. It was pretty close. Yeah, Weaver was in bounds, and then she kind of went back really quickly on the baseline.
She caught the ball, and I think the clock ran, and because that's the old school play where you pass the ball up the baseline, because she never actually caught that ball inbounds, the clock shouldn't have run, so they reset it.
And they run it again. Weaver over to Carruthers. 15 seconds left to go. Carruthers trying to get some space, gives over Weaver. Far corner 3, no good, rolls off. The rebound is picked up by Singer. Under 10 seconds left to go in this one. And the Miami fans know it. Tamar Singer will go to the line with a chance to push this to a 10-point game. All the Miami fans that made the trip out to Oxford on their feet cheering, they know what's about to happen. Amber Scalia waving her arms, getting this crowd hyped up. And Tamar Singer will shoot 2 free throws. What a season it's been for Miami. They came into the year being picked 7th in the MAC preseason poll, and with 9 seconds left to go in this one, they're going to end up as MAC champions. Singer, 3 dribbles before she hoists the free throw, and it falls in. Miami leads 67-58. Second one on the way from the Israeli native falls in, and it's a 10-point advantage for the RedHawks. Singer getting her bench and crowd hype. Everybody knows what's about to happen for Miami. Clock at 6. Carruthers will take it across the timeline. She'll take a left wing three, rolls off, no good. The ball will roll out of bounds, and that will do it. It's over. The RedHawks beat the Rockets 68-58 here in the 2026 MAC Women's Basketball Tournament Finals. And the RedHawks win the MAC for the first time in 18 years. Miami's going dancing. And in Glenn Box's third year, he's brought the RedHawks back to the promised land for the second time in program history. What a year it's been for Miami.
Just a tremendous year. Really happy for Glenn Box, who, came in when this program was in a really difficult spot. He took over a unprecedented and really difficult situation when he first came in here, and has heightened the level of this program over the last couple of years, which has been a ton of fun to watch. And just really happy for Coach Box and the staff and all these players, and a lot of transfers who came in this offseason to really bolster, but Miami really kept a nice core from Box's early years that represent the bulk of this roster, and just well-deserved all around for Coach Box and this Red Hawk team. And they win the double, regular season champs, and now what they were really after, which is winning the Mid-American Conference tournament here in Cleveland.
And, what a year it's been for Miami. They were doubted in the preseason poll. Coach Box talked about it. He said it was disrespectful as he's getting mobbed by all of his players. And the RedHawks ran the table. They beat the Ball States of the world. They beat the UMasses. They beat Toledo, who was a 6 seed, made a big run. And in this tournament, to secure a championship, they beat Kent State in round 1. They took down the Bobcats in the Battle of the Bricks in round 2. And this one, the sweetest, beating the Rockets 68-58 here in downtown Cleveland. What a win for the RedHawks. And the special season will continue into another game. RedHawks are going dancing, and we will await in the coming days to see where they will play. But what a season it's been for Miami. And the RedHawks make it known here in Cleveland that they are MAC champions. This Miami team not going to leave the court anytime soon. They're going to celebrate all day long and all weekend long. RedHawks will finally hoist their second MAC trophy in program history. And really just a nice job all year long to finally finish it here in Cleveland. Miami's top scorer was Amber Treader. She scored 23 points. Overall, Miami forcing 17 Toledo turnovers. And honestly, that's been the name of the game all year long. It's been the defense that was just able to take down another good offensive team like Toledo. And the RedHawks will hope to take that into the tournament coming up next week. Luke, any closing thoughts on this amazing Miami season?
NCAA tournament time. They're not done, so really excited for that. But, yeah, again, just excited for this crew. It's been a really fun ride covering them over the course of this year, and this coaching staff has been really great to us, I know, on the student radio side and everything that they've allowed us to do over the past couple of years. So happy for everybody down on the floor right now. This is really, really well-deserved, and excited for what's to come for this team next week in the NCAA tournament.
Miami wins the MAC title 68-58 over Toledo. And the RedHawks are the 2026 MAC Women's Basketball Champions for the second time in program history. Well, that's going to do it for Lucas, Poley, and I. My name is Andrew Relvas. Thank you for joining us all morning long here in Cleveland, Ohio. The RedHawks are the 26 MAC champions, and they are going dancing for the first time in 18 years. And now we will turn it over to Jake Zirolli and Gavin Stark for the RedHawk Radio postgame show coming up in just a moment.
What a feeling it is! The Miami Lady RedHawks are dancing in March. Gavin Stark alongside Jake Zirolli here as we celebrate a huge victory for the RedHawks. They are MAC tournament champions after being crowned regular season champions just a week ago. What a year it's been for this team. They are now 28-6 and a historic season defensively, offensively. Everything's been clicking since day one with this team, and you had a feeling they could do this.
And just a great campaign throughout this tournament in Cleveland. It's a tough atmosphere. Even in this one, they were met with some adversity in that third quarter. Toledo started to mount a comeback. Looked like they might have done something similar to what they did against Ball State. Miami weathered the storm, stayed in it, didn't fold, didn't push at all, only allowing 58 points in this game, which is just about their season average, which of course is best in the MAC, one of the best in the country. This team is so deep. They have so much mettle, so much heart, and I see this team making a run in March, which they are now confirmed to be heading to the dancing for the first time in
18 years.
It is 18 years since 2008. What an incredible achievement it really is. And for a team that's stuck together for so long, you know, only four transfers coming in of non-injured players. Those being Amber Scalia from St. Thomas, Ashton Ely from UAB, Claudia Gonzalez from Jacksonville State, and Macy Taylor from Wright State, along with the unfortunately injured Brooke Blumenfeld from Northern Illinois. She had a lower body injury in the first part of the season after Feast Week and has not played yet. Has not played since, unfortunately, but a team that is built around the culture of winning and built around the culture that is established at Miami, a winning culture, a culture of champions, and that is exactly what they've embraced here. And looking ahead now, not to get too ahead of ourselves, but the latest bracketology does have the RedHawks as a 13 seed, taking on Maryland in the first round of the region, which would include the number 1 seed UConn should Miami arrive there. So a 13 right now, but you can make the argument they could be bumped up to a 12 depending on how the other conference tournaments shake out. There'll be more bids accepted today.
Just about to get rewarded the trophy for winning the MAC tournament and clinching their bid to the big dance. So we're going to wrap things up pretty quickly here. We'll go over some stats and send you all on our ways as we go down and celebrate with the team as well. Amber Scalia, 14 points, 7 for 11 from the field, 5 rebounds and 4 steals. Game high in the steal category on 34 minutes played. Tamar Singer, 13 points, 3 for 3 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 5 assists and 2 steals as well. Amber Treader, 23 points, 6 for 12 from the field, 9 for 11 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds and an assist as well on 34 minutes played. Nuria Hurro didn't do the most offensively, but you felt her presence the entire game on the defensive end, and she is a big part of that offense as well. 1 point for her, but 3 rebounds and assist, a steal on 35 minutes play, a player that's really hard to take off the court. And Elsa DeFries with 17 points on 38 minutes played, 6 rebounds as well to go with it. And on the other side, Patricia Numba really made a push for this Toledo team with 22 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. She was brilliant. Wow, what a game, what a tournament, and what a season it's been so far for the RedHawks. But we are not done covering this team quite yet. As ahead on into the tournament, we'll find out Monday who they will play and where they will travel to. But, Jake, any final words before we sign off?
Who knows? Maybe we'll make the trip wherever they go because, of course, in the women's bracket, the top seed of the 4 hosts a regional, maybe I suppose not a regional, but a first and second round of games. So depending on where they end up, we could be there. We'll see. But you're absolutely right. What an incredible season for this team. They've worked so hard to get to this point, worked through so much adversity, been doubted, been not favored, everything from having, quote, too many international players, as we've heard some critics say, not being able to score enough, not having good enough shooters, whatever it is, they've surpassed any criticism. They've been able to be here and show up no matter what. No matter what kind of adversity they're faced with, they showed up, they showed out, and they are the champions of this conference.
Miami was picked to finish 8th this season in the preseason poll. They now go dancing after winning the MAC regular season title and now winning the MAC tournament title to clinch them a bid to the big dance. Etch their naming into the bracket, and when you guys fill out your brackets, you can put Miami down on it. They finish the season MAC tournament champions, 28-6, and they'll go dancing. I've been Gavin Stark alongside Jake Zirolli, and we say so long for now. What a week it's been in Cleveland.